I am the devil. You may have a lot of theories as to what I look like. Well, this is it. You know, a lot of people say that my greatest trick is convincing the world I don't exist. Well, I'm here to tell you that that's baloney. My greatest trick is inventing Pokemon.
Satanic panic. You may have heard about this cultural phenomenon and how it's usually tied to the 80s and 90s, you know, when the devil was busy.
Oh, those were some crazy times. I made this game called Dungeons and Dragons. Don't even get me started on that. Now, everyone loves Stranger Things. How'd I pull that off? That was peak devil, dude. Heavy metal? Oh, bro. I was on a different level. I was on some Hall of Fame type shit.
Okay, well, we're not talking about that era of old Bubsy. I want to talk about what I lived through. And I'm a little 90s baby. I also grew up deep in the heart of Arkansas, the most tolerant, reasonable, and least likely area for people to fall for conspiracy theories about Satan. That's obviously not true. That's what we call in the big leagues sarcasm. Growing up in the Bible Belt, I got to live through every one of the devil's most famous schemes during the era where the internet was just starting. Luckily, it was easier than ever then for Good Samaritans to warn parents about these things. They may get an email that says, "Warning! The devil has written a new hit book series called Harry Potter that's teaching your children about witchcraft."
I can't lie, that was a banger move on my part. It was also my first crack at becoming an author, which I think really set me up for the Da Vinci Code.
It was a war zone in homes, schools, and churches whenever the Harry Potter movies started dropping. And because of the movies, the series became way more popular than it had ever been before.
As I mentioned, one exorcist had exorcised 3 children possessed by Harry Potter. Another exorcist had to exorcise a woman who allowed Harry Potter into her family.
Whether you grew up Christian or not, I think we all knew that one kid who lived in a no Harry Potter household. For most kids, this was an introduction to you never know what's going on inside people's homes. Wait, you aren't allowed to watch this thing? You aren't allowed to read this wildly popular children's book series? Adults in the Bible Belt all became genuinely concerned that children were going to start diving into the occult after consuming this media. Pastors claimed that it was normalizing witchcraft and teaching kids spells, which is hilarious when you remember the spells are things like Wingardium Leviosa.
I remember this one time, I taught this 3rd grader how to levitate his teacher's desk while they were taking a pop quiz. That's all thanks to Harry.
But the backlash got so intense that schools were banning the books entirely.
A private school in Tennessee is removing Harry Potter books from its library. A priest at the Catholic school in Nashville warns students could use the books to conjure evil spirits. He says he worked with an exorcist to determine the curses and spells in the novels are real.
Libraries removed them, parents protested them, and some pastors even held Harry Potter book burnings. Which is crazy because, historically speaking, usually the people doing the book burnings are the villains.
You know what's really crazy is if you burn a book, it actually sends it right back to me. And what do you think I'm gonna do with it? Yep. Right back on Barnes & Noble shelves.
All I'm saying is, if I'm J.K. Rowling, God forbid, and I see an entire portion of the country burning my books, all I'm thinking is, damn, they ain't even reading these things and I'm making money. It's especially sad looking back at this epidemic whenever we live in a time now where we basically have to beg on our hands and knees to get kids to read any book. Like, I don't want my daughter to become illiterate like some of her classmates might. If my kid wants to read the Anarchist Cookbook in 4th grade, who am I to discourage her brain from learning these big words just because those words may be related to hard drugs?
That's what I'm saying, dude. Let it ride.
But boy, oh boy, Harry Potter was just scratching the surface of what Lucy was cooking up in the 2000s. You ever heard of a little game called Pokemon?
Pokemon. Pocket Monster. The Spiral. And it stands for what? Male fertility.
I was on my A game for that one, dude. Highest grossing media franchise of all time. That's impressive, isn't it, Gary? Oh. Yeah, Gary's down here because he listened to Slayer once.
Pokemon Fire Red is easily the most cherished game from my childhood. The only thing evil about it is that Game Freak is now charging $20 for it on the Switch whenever it's just the same ROM that I've been playing on my phone for the last 5 years.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty evil. Hats off to those guys, though, because that is awesome.
The first time parents found out that Pokemon was a Japanese brand name for pocket monsters, you would have thought they had released the mummy from its tomb like they were Brendan Fraser. I mean, they were appalled by this. Surely Japan is just pulling the wool over our eyes and this is demonic propaganda.
I'm trying to take a propaganda at that Jinx over there because wowza, you know what I'm saying? All right.
One of the biggest arguments from the American church was that Pokemon was promoting evolution because Pokemon evolve in the game. And if evolution is real, then that means creationism is wrong. And then Pokemon, bing, bang, boom, is anti-Christian propaganda.
Bingo.
Which is, come on, dude.
Remember I said that they get their energy through energy balls. Cute little Pikachu, and he's being energized by an energy ball. And now you notice he's not quite so cute anymore, and his little satanic tail is really erect.
A lot of Christians thought that the Pokemon were representing demons themselves because they were imbued with supernatural powers, like breathing fire, using psychic abilities, or controlling electricity. Because we all know the biblically accurate version of demons look like this. Scary stuff.
Oh, what? Now you're gonna disrespect my crew? That's not cool, man.
This fear got so out of control that pastors and parents alike were making kids burn their Pokemon cards. Are pyromaniacs just commonly interested in joining the ministry, or does being a pastor make you want to set things on fire? I thought we were avoiding the fire, guys.
Oh, come on. It's not that bad down here. I mean, you get used to it.
People who are into collecting, selling, and opening Pokemon cards are not talking about the fact that a lot of the first edition cards were most likely burned in a fire and gone forever now. Imagine how much a first edition Charizard would go for if it survived the 1999 Colorado Springs card burnings. Like there was just one kid who really didn't want to burn his cards, but his mom made him, and he saw his Charizard poking out at the bottom of the bonfire and he just yoinked it. There's probably a guy somewhere who burned what would become his whole retirement fund back in the 2000s. It's just insane to me that the generation of people who thought this stuff was evil still call it Pokemon.
Just want to go home and play Pokemon.
Go home and play Pokemon?
Yeah, Pokemon.
Yeah.
Don't do that. You can't disrespect Pokemon like that. Pokemon?
Pokemon, right?
You sound
I
like
got my
old.
nephew some Pokemon cards. They're kind of a big deal.
I don't know what cards you got on. They must have sucked because you calling them Pokemon.
Now, this same level of thinking almost carried over to Yu-Gi-Oh! At least Yu-Gi-Oh! Had a spooky aesthetic that made you think, okay, this could be evil. But this really never caught on as much for Yu-Gi-Oh! Because it probably just wasn't as popular as Pokemon. All of a sudden, something isn't deemed demonic because it's not making as much money. Like Yu-Gi-Oh! Has actual demons, but parents were like, my pastor hasn't warned me about it, so it's probably fine. Moving on from that, I think one of my favorite things to come from that era is the video of the woman claiming that the Monster Energy drink logo was satanic.
Look at your M closely. There's a gap right here in the letter M. It's never connected. So you go into Hebrew. The letter Vav is also the number 6. Short top, long tail. Short top, long tail. You could have here in Hebrew 666 on the can.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have cracked the case. This is huge. Why is no one talking about this? Why is she the only person on earth talking about this?
But my interest is the word monster. What do you see in the O? There's a cross. Okay.
This person she has got in her cheap press-on nail grasp is having none of this, dude. Also, it looks like the person sitting next to her has had enough of this rehearsed spiel, too.
VFC at the bottom of the can. Do you know what that stands for? That's the F word. Big can. In fact, they write it on the side of the can, so I know that's the F word.
Nothing makes me more physically ill than when people are presenting their case and are saying it in the most smug way possible.
Okay. Now, do you know what a MILF is? Yes. That's on the box.
Okay, this is getting a little crazy. I do not claim this woman whatsoever.
Dude, this video went crazy viral in 2014, and I really think it was the first piece of the puzzle in making Facebook the breeding place for misinformation among old people. Like, this video is the piece that's right next to those images claiming that Michelle Obama is a man.
Is this proof that Michelle Obama is really a man?
Then we have the Super Bowl halftime show. Every year, without fail, someone claims that the Super Bowl halftime show is a demonic ritual, Illuminati symbolism, or a mass initiation ceremony. It happened this year with Bad Bunny, and it will most certainly happen again next year. Beyonce's performance in 2023 immediately comes to my mind when I think about these theories. A lot of the theories start because of, you guessed it, the use of fire.
2013 subtly satanic halftime show with Beyonce. There's our idol. We want to idolize her. She's larger than life in front of flames of hell.
Oh, that fire. Fire is always bad. No matter the context, we should stay away from fire. Unless there's some children's toys I want to burn.
This here reminded me of the rays of the Japanese flag. Again, the Illuminati's into sun worship.
Well, you know, if fire is bad, then the sun must be really bad, because that thing's all fire. Even though we use the sun to represent God in scripture. Yeah, I'm having a hard time with this one.
No, keep going. You'll get it eventually.
Another Super Bowl performance reviewed under a microscope was, of course, Katy Perry's.
Now, the first thing that I want to point out when it comes to the symbolism is her suit. So as you can see here, she comes in and she's on fire. Her suit's literally flaming.
Oh yeah, we got you again, demon! You thought you could get away with using fire without us noticing? Oh, no, sorry!
So her wearing this suit is a sign of purification. The Luciferian cult of the Illuminati is a cult that practices blood sacrifice. They view it as a purification and offering to their gods, which are in fact demons.
It's so painfully obvious that these guys just hate women. So much so that whenever women are given a large platform, there just has to be something larger at play there. They can't fathom a woman being successful.
Hey, stop that. You're like ruining my whole shtick here. How am I supposed to keep tricking these guys, huh? Don't yuck other people's yums.
This trend obviously extends to every Grammys performance ever, no matter who it is. To the point where in 2023, Sam Smith decided to have some fun with these people when performing his song Unholy. And holy shit, did he have fun. He played them like a fiddle, dude. And these are the same people who get scared by the animatronics at Spirit Halloween.
And I got to watch Sam Smith perform Unholy. And I know a lot of Christians are all upset. I'm actually kind of proud of Sam that he's honest, because that's what that music does. Think about it. He had women dancing in a prison as he dressed up like Satan, which is what so much of that music actually is. You see, worship music helps us to live a holy life.
Ah yes, the genre of music solely devoted to luring people into a false sense of emotions and gaslighting them into thinking it's the Holy Spirit. Famously performed by people who wear clothes on Sunday morning worth more than my house.
I'm clapping. I'm praising. I feel like I just snorted cocaine or something. I'm so excited. And I never did that before. For the record. For the record. For the record. For the record.
The reason I wanted to make this video was to highlight how insane it is that we are currently living in a timeline where the E-files have dropped, confirming every one of these absurd, secret demonic society claims, and now it's all silent. Every possible theory, from Pizzagate to sacrificing kids to Baal, is all there on a .gov website. This just shows me how ridiculous the Satanic Panic claims were whenever I was growing up. Like they were just formed from people being bored or jealous of someone else's success. A lot of times these theories were crafted just to steal money from people who were gaslit into believing them, selling them books, DVDs, and tickets to see the traveling pastor and hear what he was gonna deem satanic next. So many kids were convinced by their parents that a little man with horns and a tight red suit was gonna drag them to hell for watching SpongeBob. But now, when all it takes is reading a couple emails to confirm all of these theories.
I couldn't even tell you how to open an email. You know, like, what is this crazy futuristic device? It's wild, really.
Anyways, if you want to see me talk about a Spike TV show I watched growing up that was not glorifying to God, click this box right here. And as always, thanks for watching, and thank you for your time.